Good morning, everybody. I am going live today and I'm sharing some specific training with you today. And I just got to moisten my lips a bit. I'm dry. I haven't been able to come on here because I've been sick. I've lost my voice, so I'm good now. You'll hear a little crackle every now and then. But I wanted to come on today because I'm covering some really key information. So if you have an online business or any kind of business, I want to take you on the journey that your customers all go through, whether they're aware of it or not. And it's important for you to be aware of it so that you can deal with it in your conversations as you talk to your ideal clients or as you're posting content. Like, this is critical information for you to know and understand. So I wanted to come on here today and cover some of these tips for you. It's important, very important, that if you're trying to make extra money online, that you understand how your ideal customers are thinking and feeling. And let's start today, like right off the bat. Let me know where you're joining from. If you're joining me live, I have Restream up here on my computer, and that's going to YouTube and Facebook. And then I have TikTok up above. So let me know where you're joining from. And if you have any questions as we go through this, put them up in the chat, but I may, if I miss them, just repost them, because this is key information and it's vital that you understand these pieces. So let's dive right in. What are the questions that your customers may be asking? And if you don't have a business and you're looking at getting one, you're going to want to know these. So you can have conversations that are going to address these right in the conversations. So the number one question that everyone asks, whether they're dealing with you online or if they're dealing with you in person, and in person is the most impactful, I gotta say, because then they get to witness you at your best. Because when we start online, we get nervous of the camera. We get nervous of showing up our authentic self when we're doing videos or doing lives or doing anything online. So it takes practice to get comfortable on the camera. So if you're in person, it can flow a little bit better, but we need to always prep. So the number one question that every customer asks, whether they're thinking it or aware of it or not, is, does this person that's trying to sell me something or talk to me about something have my best interest? People want to know that you know them and you understand them and you're connecting with them. And that is something you need to address in your content. So how do you do that? You need to know who your ideal client is for your product or service, first of all. So for me, for example, I focus on busy parents. I focus on parents that are not feeling like their finances are where they need to be, or feeling like their time more than anything is capped and strapped because they're working so much and they have a family, and the guilt and the shame that comes with not being there for your kids when they need them most, because you think you have to be at your job. That's what I was ingrained to believe, was that I needed to be at your job. Like, who can relate to this? Put a yes in the comments, or even your best emoji if you can relate to what I'm saying, because working parents, we have struggles. Like, it's legit. It's a serious thing. So being able to tap into who you're talking to and what their pain points are is vital to understanding your ideal customer. So they need to know that you have their best interest at hand. So how can you do that? The best way to do that is through storytelling. People need to know you understand them. And what a better way to help them understand that you understand them if you can relate to them. So for me, for example, I worked in the corporate world and I had a high stress, high demand job. It was extremely busy, frustrating. It was annoying. I felt tapped, capped, and strapped, more so with my time than anything, because I was getting up at 5 a.m, running to work at 6, getting there for 7, busted my ass off, giving them all of my energy, everything in me to deliver. And we, as a team of 3 and a warehouse team of 15, hammered through, a massive amounts of product. Like, pumping out $35 to $40 million a year in Sharpie markers, dry erase markers, whiteboards, gas tanks. Like we had a couple high ticket items, but on average, we were pushing out over two to three, four, $500,000 worth of product a day. Like that's how much we were doing. Like think about it, $40 million in 12 months with 3 people doing all of that entry is a lot. And we were the salespeople. We were the front runners. People called us with their issues or challenges. If there was a shipping error, we had to fix it. So we had all these things going on. It was high demand, high stress, high deadlines. We had to have everything entered by 12:30 in the morning or 12:30 at noon. So if that's happening and you're at work and you're giving all your best energy, what do you got left when you get home? Not a lot. Like I was tapped, capped, and strapped by the time I got home. I was so stressed and overwhelmed and exhausted when I got home that I radiated like just vile energy to the point where the animals would shut down. Like they could feel my energy when I walked through the door and they would like run away and cower. Like they did not want to be near me. My energy was so toxic because I did not like my job. I felt unappreciated. I felt like I was being used and abused. And that is not me. Like that's not my personality. I don't tolerate that from people, but yet we tolerate it from our companies because we feel compelled to deliver for them because they're paying us a paycheck. We're trading time for dollars. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I was dreading going to work every morning. I was in turmoil every day. And I did not have the guts to quit my job because it was 6 figures. It was hard to walk away from that. That paid the bills and gave me a lifestyle, paid for all the renos in the house. You know, it got us this property, which is newer. The garage was older. The property needed a lot of work. So it gave us money to do what we wanted to with the property, but we didn't have any money to go travel. We didn't have any money to go do extra things. And when our child needed us the most, we weren't there because we would put work first because that was our thinking. That was our mentality. And even my husband, not that long ago, my daughter was struggling. She has special needs. So she struggles more than the average person does. And something was said about, you know, picking her up early. And he's like, well, I got to work. I was like, what's more important, your child or your job? Like, get your priorities straight. But I was the same way. I would have said the same thing not 2, 3, 4 years ago. I would have told her she had to figure it out because we got to go to work. We got to pay the bills, keep the roof over the head. Like that's how people can relate to me. That's how they know I have their best interest at heart because that's shit I don't want you to ever have to go through or deal with ever again. So in my product and my offerings and how I help people have everything to do with their health, their mental health, their physical health, and helping their finances. Because I don't want you to have to suffer the way I suffered. I don't want you to have to experience what I experienced. And then when I was let go 2 days before my 50th birthday, when I first got the news, I was like, I kind of knew it was coming because we got really slow, but I was like vile. I'm like, how dare you? I busted my balls for you, helped you grow and did more volume than most people within the company in a 12-month period for 2 years straight. And you have new people who you don't have time to train sitting at their desk, surfing the internet, twiddling their thumbs. And I am a seasoned individual and you're going to let me go instead of repurposing me somewhere else. I was a bit vile in the beginning, but it didn't take me long to realize that, you know what? I don't want this job. It took me literally just moments. Most people would stew in that for days, weeks, months. And it took me moments to realize, no, I don't like it here. I don't want to be here. I don't like the stress. I don't like the deadlines. Like this can work to my advantage. And I got excited literally in the moment and I could feel the stress leave my body. I'm not joking. I could literally feel my whole energy lift. And I get goosebumps talking about this every single time. And I got excited because then I could dive into my coaching and I could dive into network marketing. Well, guess what happened when that happened? I floundered like a fish on land because I didn't know anything about business, especially online business. And I'm so used to being in an industry that's direct and in your face. And guess what? When you're dealing with people that are working with their mental health in the coaching and you're working with people with their physical health and a product, they need to know and understand it. They don't need you being blunt about it. So the bluntness didn't work in the business model that I was diving into. And I floundered like a fish on land. I struggled. And I thought, how can I help educate people so I'm not in their face? How can I help educate them so they're not so blunt? So that you could build that know, like, trust factor. So let me give you an example. Having somebody's best interest at heart. I'm on my phone here trying to find this message because this happened yesterday. And I thought, this drives my point home. I'm going to talk about this today in my live. So I got a message yesterday, and I'm going to see if I can find it here. And this guy, yeah, he's still messaging me. So I don't generally message on TikTok, but I have two accounts, one for my dynamic living, one for my inspired within. So on my dynamic living, this guy connected with me and he's like, great, pleasure to meet you. And then right off the bat, he dives into, would I be open to opportunities? And I'm like, well, I already have my own business. I'm in coaching. I do network marketing. And I also provide digital marketing services. And I do digital marketing. So I'm pretty tapped for new opportunities. And he's like, with a minimum investment of $500, you can earn up to 10K in 7 days. Are you going to trust somebody that sends you a message like that instantly? Like, seriously, would you? For me, I was like, block. But I was like, no, don't block him yet because I want this for content tomorrow. But he's going to get blocked because nobody on social media, on TikTok, especially TikTok, Twitter, these places that, don't offer a ton of ways to communicate. So like Facebook, for example, you can post stories, you can do blog posts, you can do videos, you can do a bunch of different things, which TikTok gives you a ton of options as well. But you also get to produce groups and business pages. So you can build different things on Facebook. Instagram, I think it might be limited. I'm not on there as much. But prime example is this guy right out of the blue was like, give me $500 and you earn 10 grand in 7 days. And I'm like, nope. Because he did nothing to build my know, like, trust. Absolutely nothing. And he freaking punched me in the face of give me $500 and I'll make you 10 grand in 7 days. And I don't even know this guy. I don't even know where he lives, where he resides, nothing. I know nothing about him. I've not seen anything about him. And he instantly, boom. And, instead of building the rapport in a conversation and building that up and saying, follow me, check out my videos, see if there's anything of interest. I'd love to help you more, but I want you to get to understand what I do first. None of it. It's like, boom, crypto, $500 now, make 10 grand 7 days. And instantly I'm like, no, absolutely not. Yes, my love, this is my real voice. I lost it a couple days ago, so it's still a little bit jotty. So this guy is like, well, I'm running a program for new and old crypto investors and trading platforms, and it's been going very successful. The idea is building a solid capital foundation for beginners by helping them trade. So again, I don't know a lot about any of it. I am not big into crypto. I'm not interested in any of that stuff. I'm always on guard about being scammed because I'm supposed to be intelligent. Nobody's going to take advantage of me. So I want to make sure in my content, because this is my branding, it goes beyond just, does this person have my best interest at heart? It's also about branding. I have values. I have, integrity. I have strong, high expectations of myself and of others. So I am not going to do anything that's going to hurt you from what I offer. But my offerings require you to be involved and do the things you need to have success. And that's like any product or any service. You can buy all the lipstick in the world, but if you don't wear it, it doesn't matter. You can buy all the training in the world. If you don't take it and implement it, it doesn't matter. So it's give and take both sides. That's what business is. That's what services are. It's give and take. So making sure the number one thing people think of is, do you have my best interest at heart? And the best way to build that best interest is through story. The second thing they think of is, does your product or service, what does it mean to them? Like what this, and like I say, they may not even be aware they're asking these questions, but these are questions that you need to answer in your content. So what does your product or service mean to them? What are they going to get out of it? How is it going to benefit them? So if you're constantly pushing in their face, there's like your stuff, and you don't explain the benefits and you don't touch on their pain points so they understand it, then why would they engage with you? They won't. They'll stop there. So they're only getting to question number 2. So question number 2 is, what does your product or service mean to you? So I just told you my story of working in the industrial world, the corporate world, high stress, high demand, overwhelm, health, you name it. I had all these things going on. How many other people do you know that have these things going on? Do you have these things going on? Because I got to tell you, a lot, I'm talking hundreds of thousands, if not millions and billions of people do feel the same way I was feeling about their work. So now those people that love their job, great. This is not going to be meaningful for you. So my product or service is not going to answer your question because I'm not going to relate to you if you love your job. However, if you love your job and you want to make extra money, then it might hit that point. But I rarely touch on that point. So I'm leaving those people on the table. But what does my product mean? So digital marketing, for example, it's a way for you to learn and earn passive income. It's a way for you to gain new skills, just like your job, you had to learn them. But it's a way for you to gain the skills, the knowledge, the confidence to be able to learn to earn online. Everything is digital. It's in high demand. So my product and services are, it's not that they're not needed. Everybody is digital nowadays. Traditional brick and mortar businesses, you name it, they're all digital now. So everybody is digital. So digital marketing is a massive, massive industry. It is so massive that it's expected to hit $1.5 trillion by 2030. That's digital marketing itself. But the digital economy, which encompasses digital marketing, is expected to hit $16.5 trillion next year. Like that's big volume. Like that's huge, right? But even Grant Cardone, who's a real estate guru, is also known for his marketing. The man did not hit $4 billion in assets by not knowing his marketing, not knowing how to digital market. So digital marketing is a big thing. But if you're like, well, that's not me, it doesn't have to be you. If you don't want to do digital marketing, then you can stay in the rat race and continue to do what you've always done and get the same result that you've always got. But we have a lot of fun. We build cool relationships with each other. No different than my coaching. Like, what does my coaching offer people? It offers them tools to learn how to cope and deal with the high stress, high demands, helps them figure out their belief systems that are holding them back. I'm starting to lose my voice, so hopefully I can make it through all this. And it helps them grow, evolve, and expand at a personal level. My coaching is about personal development. You can apply it to professional, but I work on you first, because your professional is just a reflection of you and your belief systems and where you're at. So if you can work on you, your professional will evolve as well. So I call it personal development versus professional, but it will help you with your profession. The third question people ask is it worth it? So is it worth it? If you're working part-time and you're making minimum wage and you're stuck and you're struggling to pay your bills every single day, because you're not getting enough hours, you're not getting anything, you're going to feel like my products and services are out of reach for you. So if that's the case, what can you do to help change that? Well, first of all, you got to be hungry enough to recognize that if you don't change what you're currently doing, nothing's going to change for you. You're going to stay in that cycle. Might you get a new job with more hours? Yeah, maybe. But it all starts up in here. So is my product worth it? Well, let me ask you this, for example, when it comes to my products, and you can relate it back to your own products. How can you make sure it's worth it to your buyer? Well, for less than the cost of a cell phone, you can gain access to a program that has so much value that it will give you up to 4 revenue streams to start with uncapped earning potential, earning 100% profit on 4 products that vary in pricing. So if you are that one person that's struggling financially, there's a $100 product. There's a $300 product, a $600 product, and a $900 product. And when I say product, it's actually a service. It's learning new skills online. So what is it worth it to you? So if you are still, crypto scams are not great, Al. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, so to learn to earn online and do it legitimately, you have to learn new skills. So that's the product I promote. It's a training program where you learn how to do online and how to do digital marketing and how to, gain those skills. But it also teaches you, the $900 program teaches you how you can add more revenue streams, create your own digital products without taking a ton of extra time. It teaches you so many new things. So for the cost of less than a cell phone, which you're on a lot throughout the day, like the amount of hours we spend on our phone scrolling now is crazy. But instead of scrolling, why not be the person that stops the scroll? Why not be the person that's earning on these platforms that are free and learn the skills that it's going to take to help you be able to learn to make money online, to make money from TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it. The strategies are different for each one, and these programs teach you how to do the strategies for each one. So again, is your product worth it? I didn't even know what I bought when I bought it. I didn't realize the power of it. I wanted it for the attraction marketing, for my coaching and my network marketing, because I hate the lists and contacting people. I was going nowhere. I was wasting so much time on the phone with my coaching program and even my network marketing, talking to people that did not want to improve their health or was already healthy and didn't feel they needed to boost and spend, $300 a month on a supplement that can help enhance their health and anti-aging and the whole shebang. So I thought, instead of doing it that way and wasting all my time and getting blocked and locked by social media because they thought I was spamming people, I thought, how can I do attraction marketing so I don't get blocked? How can I grow my business so I'm not in people's faces? And that's when I started learning. You talk about the pain points that I've experienced and how it's transformed my life. And that is how it's worth it, because if I've done it and you've seen the results, like I'm 51 years old, when you see the results, it's easier to talk and relate to people at that point. So that's how you make it worth it. Hi, Tommy. Thanks for joining. I'm talking about 5 questions that customers go through when they are looking for product or when they come across your content. So again, let's recap. Number 1, they ask is, do you have their best interest at heart? Number 2 is, what does your product mean to them? Are you listening to them? Do you know them? If you're on social media, do you understand their pain points, and do you speak clearly about their pain points? Is the product or service that I have, is it worth it for them? And the 4th one is, what will others say? As much as we think that some of us, like for me, for example, most people think that I don't care what other people think because I'm so out there. I'm different. I'm out there. But I didn't even realize I did either, because I am that out there type personality. It was deeply ingrained in me, and I didn't know what I didn't know. And when it came to start posting on Facebook, where I have more followers, I got scared. And I'm like, didn't realize I was in that mode. What will other people think? Didn't even know that I was there. But a lot of people get there before they even buy something. And this is something you have to address. So when you're talking to somebody, and again, I come back to my products and services because I can speak fluidly about them, apply these to your products and services. But what will other people say? I help people with their finances through digital marketing, through online. So I'm posting videos, I'm posting 3 to 4 times a day on social media, and I'm on YouTube, and I'm doing all these things. And then when I came to TikTok, I started a brand new account. So it was easy. Nobody knew me. But then when I transitioned over to Facebook, there was a block. It's like, oh my God. And I started thinking, what about the people I went to school with? What about my family? What about my friends that I've known for years? What about my coworkers that I have online? Didn't even realize that was going through my brain. I was unaware of it. But I came to the realization through coaching that None of these people pay my bills. None of these people have learned what I've learned. And none of these people are doing the things that I've done and gain the skills that I've gained. So why would I listen to them? I love my dad to the moon and back, but he grew up in the old-fashioned upbringing of you grow up and you get a good job. And of course, he and my mom taught me grow up, get a good education, get a good job, because back in their era, the education you learned on the job. Now it's all about getting the education and certificates to go out and get a good job. Well, guess what? I did that and I was no better off. I was better off than them financially a little bit, but I still had struggles. I still didn't make enough, still didn't have the lifestyle I wanted. I still didn't have all the things that I expected myself to have at this stage of my life. And that is a status of my blueprint. And I was allowing what other people think to stop me from moving forward in my life, from stop me from growing my business. My business is going to give me the freedom that all these people that I was worrying about their thoughts and what they might think of me and judge me, none of them are giving me a multiple 6 and 7 figure income. Not one, zero, 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 including my dad. And I love him to death. I really do. And I get it. He's worried about me. My safety and security is his number one priority. I'm his child, even though I'm in my 50s. That's how parents think. Doesn't matter how old you are, you're still their kid. And when I told him I didn't want to go back to work, I wanted to dive into my business. Oh, Anne, you got to be careful. And it took me, I was like, what the is this shit? It's like, where's the support? Like, what the hell? But then I started to think about, he's feeding me his limited belief systems to keep me safe. So he thinks he's doing a good thing. And it wasn't till I told him, I said, Dad, I love you and I appreciate you worried about my safety, but here's my reality. I busted my ass off for this last company, and I've done it for every company I've ever worked for. I get there early. I work through every break, every lunch. And when they need me to stay late, I stay late. And I was stressed over the years to the point where I dove into my work so much that the weight came on. That the stress produced unhealthy levels of cortisol that helps keep the fat on. I was so stressed that I was constantly in a state of emergency. And what are your flight responses? You have flight, fight, or freeze. Well, guess what? I'm a fighter. And I was in this mode for 8+ hours a day for almost 30+ years. So knowing what you might know or may not know about health, if you're anything like me and you realize this, you're like, how am I not dead yet? Like, how have I not died from severe health issues at this point? Because I was in constant fight mode. When I showed up, my last job, I was there for 5 years. And when I showed up for work, every day was a freaking battle with anybody and everybody. People that I really love and respect in those places have had it out with me at one point or another, because I was always defensive and in fight mode. You got a problem? Let's solve it. But if you're pointing fingers or you're coming at me, I will fight back. So guess what? When we're in the midst of earning $40 million with a lot of freaking pressure on you throughout the day, and I've got management and other people coming in giving me their shit, I'm like, get the fuck out. Like, I was like, that's what I was like. So, there was times I was not pleasant to be around when I was highly stressed. The warehouse used to call me the tornado for a reason. So I said to my dad, Dad, I've done this for how many years? And all it did was impact my health. So my job is slowly killing me. You really want me to go back to that? Or would you rather I try to do something independent and not worry about all the things that could happen? Because if I stay in what I'm doing, what's not working for me, it will happen. It will happen. So if you don't want to be visiting me in a hospital, support me, please. You don't have to buy my products and services. But don't give me this shit, please. Love me for having the courage to try. And that man has not said anything bad since. I am growing my business. It is still green for me, but I am loving what I'm doing. I love coming on here and educating you in these lives. I love it when somebody purchases from me and I can impact them. I feel bad for the ones that purchase from me and do nothing, but that's out of my control. I can't make you do anything. I can only control this right here. So when I start talking to other people, worrying about other people will say, I get passionate because I'm like, you know what? You are the one that has to take care of you. And if you're constantly worried about what other people are thinking and saying and doing, then you're never going to have what you want. You're never going to have what you desire because you're living in everyone else's world and worrying about what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're saying. And at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. And when you start doing the development, that digital marketing and the development that you'll get from me naturally, when you start to tap into that power and you understand that, you're going to learn very quickly who your true friends are and who your true friends are not. Because the ones that are online bashing you and giving you shit and bucking everything you say and do, you need to block them. Because that energy, my friend, is not serving you. It's not. So when it comes to what will others say and think, it's a normal reaction, but understand your life is yours and you need to live your life, not theirs. And if they're not supporting you, then guess what? They're not feeding you. They're not contributing to your success. They're trying to kibosh your success. And when you help the ones that want to support you understand that, they'll shift like my dad did, or they will not. And the ones that will not are so caught up in themselves, they want you to stay stuck because that's where they know you and that's where they recognize you. So for you to shift and change, learn and grow and start making money and gaining your freedom and getting the things you want, they become envious. That is not a friend. Friends are not envious of each other. They're not. So learn who is truly in your corner when you step out of the norm and start not worrying about what other people think. Even recently, like my brother had just joined Facebook. He was not big on technology. And, I got a ton of posts out there. I'm everywhere. And, when he joined, I had that inkling of, oh my God, what's he going to say or do? And then I was like, screw it. And the next thing I know, I get this cute little video of this guy sitting beside a fire pit. And the verbiage, there was no words. The written comment at the top was, I'm waiting for my sister to get rich so I can retire. I thought that was cute, but I'm not funding his retirement, just saying. But I thought it was cute because he's seen me doing some posts, obviously. And the fifth and last thing that people tend to ask themselves, and like I say, these questions they may or may not be aware of them, is, do I need it now? Do I need it now? So what product and service you have. So for me, it's coaching, network marketing, and a cellular health supplement. Like this is my cellular health supplement. Do I need it now? You need to be able to answer these questions. So for prime example, my digital marketing, anybody who's listening to me, if you're relating to my story of feeling totally kibosh, stuck, trapped in your job, and you're not loving it, and you're feeling the health impacts, and you're feeling like you're unappreciated, you're empty, you're burning out, and the fears are overwhelming you, and you're coming home toxic, and your family's getting the worst of you instead of the best of you, then why would you wait? Why would you continue that cycle? Why not start taking steps today to start eliminating that? I don't know about you, but that's a pain I don't ever want to go back to. I actually developed a new belief system, and this is probably not a healthy one either, but I developed a belief system when I got laid off. I was like, I got to dive into my business and I have to make my business work because if I go back to that job, I might wind up dead. I created the fear and belief system that if I go back to that high stress corporate world where my skills, that's where all my skill sets are, that it's going to kill me if I go back to that because of the high stress, high demand. And then when I think about how that company had treated me, it makes me vile. But at the end of the day, they're just doing what companies do. You're just a number. They need to make profits and they use you to do it. Do you want to continue to be used? What's your urgency? What's the burn in your belly? Is it burning enough? Have you had enough? And I let people know I'm working with 15 people each week to get them started. That's it. 15 every week. And the ones who join me this week, I've learned to create new digital products that I charge other people for. I give them to my new clients for free. And at least now for a short period of time, you're getting my recent ones. And it's only for a short period of time. Because I have to continue to focus on my business and I have to focus on the ones that are here. So I give you these incentives to help you understand. So what are the incentives in the digital marketing? One is a fast start. It helps you start posting to create the curiosity to help you fast start your digital marketing journey. The second one is I created a self-audit so that when you have a profile, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, that you can do a self-audit so that that profile goes from personal or a new profile to match what you're promoting and selling, that it matches your brand, teaches you how to brand yourself. It's a self-audit tool. And then if you're in the programming, you want to self-audit or you want me to come in after you've done your self-audit to make sure it's capitalized, I'm doing that for the people that join my digital marketing for free. In my offer, people have to pay extra for that. So they have to pay for the profile maximization tool to maximize your profile, because let's face it, you've got to build, like I said early on, you've got to build that know, like, trust factor so that people can build that and understand who you are and what you are so that they can know, like, and trust you to be able to decide to purchase anything from you. And the best way to do that on social media is through video, because then they get to see your personality. You know, you can post pictures all day long, but if your profile is not showing them who you are and what you are all about, you know, if you go to any one of my profiles, you can go to all of them. I'm not on Instagram very often, but it's consistent. My dynamic living profile has the exact same picture. My Inspired with Anne profile, so I have two on TikTok, the Inspired with Anne and the digital marketing. And I've got, the Inspired with Anne is the digital marketing and my dynamic living lifestyles. So everything dynamic living lifestyles has the exact same profile. Everything with the Inspired with Anne has the exact same profile or picture, not profile, picture. And when you got crossover platforms, so I only have one profile on Facebook and one profile on LinkedIn. I didn't create multiple there. I don't even know why I created multiple to begin with. I think when I first started digital marketing, I thought it was disconnected, and it's actually not. And so my LinkedIn and my Facebook have my dynamic living profile picture. So no matter where you go, you're going to see uniformity in my profile picture. But it's the same thing. It teaches you how to make the whole profile uniform so that your messaging and what you're talking about, if they go to your profile to build that know, like, trust so they can get to know you, they're going to read my bio. They're going to read my information and see who I am. And then they're going to see the alignment in my posts. They're going to see the alignment in everything that I'm doing online. You know, I'm not great at sharing my personal stuff. I'm getting better at it, but I try to share some of my personal stuff so people can get to see who I am. I have 2 dogs, a cat. You know, I have a child who doesn't like her picture getting taken, so I rarely post pictures of her anymore, but I will post pictures of her that I have from the past. I'll do memories. I'll do, you know, then and now on Facebook when they give it to me so that you can see me as a person. You can see me as who I stand for and what I'm about. You can see my integrity. You can see my value in my family. You can see my value in my work. You know, I'm passionate about helping people because I don't ever want to see you suffer the way I've suffered. But I take my suffering and I learn from it. And I can show you how you can do the same thing too. So that's the key, is being able to take our trials and tribulations and learn from them, capitalize on them by building these questions or answering these questions of our potential client in our content. You know, you don't even have to answer it all in one post. Like, that's a lot. You know, do you have the best interest in hand? Well, that's storytelling. That takes time. You know, what does my product mean for them? That's the benefits. So whatever challenge they have, you're answering that with the benefits of your product. So my digital marketing, for example, it gives you new skills so you can get out of the job that you're in, so you can learn to earn online. It has pre-built website system, so it's automated. It's rejection free because you direct people to the funnel and everything happens within it, including the sale. If people want to buy, they don't even have to contact you to buy. I do very few Zoom meetings. Actually, the Zoom meetings I do are the people I know. Most people will just go into the funnel, and that provides more than enough information to answer the bulk of their questions, and then they can decide whether or not it's going to be right for them. And if it's not, they just unsubscribe and they get removed. I don't have to deal with the constant rejection like I did when I started my coaching and network marketing. It was nonstop, constantly talking to the wrong people to find out if they were the right people. How about do attraction marketing and let them decide whether it's right for them? And some of them will follow you for months before they jump in. I can't tell you how many of us get the messages, I've been following you for months and I'm finally ready. It's crazy. And then you've got the people are like, show me your statement. Prove to me it's right. Well, guess what? I don't pay your bills, so you don't need to see my statement. I know, and I share the wins in the community. That's proof, my friend. And that's another thing you get access to help build the bond. You get access to a very elusive community of like-minded people learning the same skills you are, building the same business you are. There's no competition because we're all on the same playing field. We have master resale rates, so we have to stay within that guideline. I've got certification up here on the wall that shows that I'm ethical in my digital marketing, that I have ethics. I follow the rules of the master resale rates so that we are all on the same playing field and we can support each other and guide each other and build beautiful friendships all around the world, not to mention. I build beautiful friendships. There's a beautiful soul in South Africa. I did an interview with her. She's up on my YouTube channel. Cecilia Jacobs. She just radiates the kindness of her heart in all of her posts, in her story, in her journey. But she's a mama like I am. And she was struggling with not being there for her child like I was. It's hard when you have a child that has special needs and you realize, because she was diagnosed late, and you realize that you didn't know what you didn't know and you don't know what damage you've done in the past, and you go through a period of almost a grieving period. I still get emotional when I talk about this because I didn't know. If I had known when she was younger, things could have been different. But at the same time, I don't know how they would have been different because I had to grow and change and evolve myself to see things differently. But she was just diagnosed last summer with autism on top of her already social anxiety and select mutism and ADD. And having that autism diagnosis helped me understand, when I started learning what high functioning autism was, helped me understand, oh my God, I thought she was just a shy, quiet kid. I had no idea she couldn't speak when she gets stressed. No idea she was in that freeze mode. So I'm a fighter. She freezes. And she was living in that 24/7 in school and coming home and dealing with me, who's highly aggressive because of my job. Like, I realized how much I shut my child down because she has special needs and couldn't deal with my energy. I contributed to some of her traits that she has now because I didn't know what I didn't know. So it took me a while to be able to release that that's a past. I can't change it, but I can change how I react to her and with her now. She's now 18. She's an adult, and our relationship is now evolving to a beautiful thing, but I give her space. I give her, and I'm there. There's times I just sit with her for hours because that's all she needs, instead of me barking at her, trying to help her change and evolve and grow and, doing all the things that I used to do. And it's like, she can sit and be with me now. But that's all about personal growth. And that's why we get stuck in that hamster wheel, because we stop learning. So take these things. When it comes to the TikTok journey, I'm actually going to do mini videos, because when you go live on TikTok, it disappears when you stop. So with the YouTube and Facebook, it'll be up. Facebook only keeps it on now for 30 days, I think, but it'll be there. YouTube is there forever. So understanding your customer's natural process of questioning and being able to answer those is going to be key to helping you start to grow your business, whether it be online, whether it be brick and mortar, if it's face to face, if you're in sales at all, you need to understand this journey and these questions. Because even if you're seeing customers that you already know and you're not getting a bulk of their business, then there's some of these you're not answering and you may not be listening. So you need to take a step back and start going through these questions with your current book of business, with your current customers, with new customers. Oh my God, can you imagine the impact if you can deal with this stuff and be prepared before you even go see a new customer? Being able to deal with objections and rebuttals is understanding that they just don't have enough information or they don't feel understood enough. So having that impact. So again, I'll recap quickly. The number one question people think or just inherently know is, you as a stranger online, do you have my best interest at heart? Do you really have my best interest at heart? How do you do that? Through storytelling mostly, or giving examples or telling other people's stories. Number two is, what does your product or service mean to them? What's it going to do for them? Why is it even there for them? What point will it do? For example, this is a cellular health supplement. This helps your body heal at a cellular level. So no matter what you have going on, if you take that, and it's not like a pill, take a pill a day, that's different. Because depending on what you have going on with your health, you may need more, you may need less. So being able to break down my content around that, which I'm diving into a little bit deeper because I'm still learning about this. This is crazy. The results people have had from this is insane, because it heals the body at a cellular level. And it's your cells that build your immune system, that build your digestive system, that builds your circulatory system, like all the genetic pathways that impacts because it's at a cellular level. So if I'm talking to somebody with diabetes, I need to understand how that impacts diabetes and then talk that language versus whole body, because that's their pain point. That's what they need to understand. With my coaching, helping people, why is it important to help you recognize and change your belief systems? Well, if you're in a state of overwhelm, like I was at my job, the state of overwhelm, the feeling unappreciated and having all these empty feelings and negative feelings impacting your life day after day and having you in a constant state of stress, if that's not important to change quickly, I don't know what is. So, I need to be able to speak to those people around that. I'm actually getting my coaching program online so I can get it out to the masses and then hold Zoom meetings so we can deal with any questions. Because that's one thing I hate about digital, is that unless you're interactive with your clients when they buy your digital product, it's frustrating because you're always got questions. And if they got no way to get them answered, like I am very selective now with my digital products that I buy. And that's what I loved about the digital marketing online program, because you have access to the free community, tens of thousands of people in it. You got questions. It's getting answered like quickly, easily, because somebody's already been through it and has the answers. Or you've got mentor meetings where there's Q&A. Every time we have a call, there's Q&A at the end. You can ask and answer there. Or keep going in your training. A lot of times the answers are just in the next module, oftentimes. So, just continue with your training and keep track of your questions, because chances are they're going to get answered in the training. And that's what I found, is that I will not buy a digital product unless there's support that goes with it. And that's when I realized, by taking this digital marketing training, oh my God, I need to get my coaching online. I can hit the masses and have a bigger impact if I create a community around the people that buy it, so that we can answer questions and support each other together. And this community in the digital marketing is up over 50,000 people right now and growing. This digital marketing blueprint has done as a whole. So everybody in the community that's bought the program and is actively using it in business and using the funnel system, that funnel system has produced over $30 million in 10 months. Yes, I love this program too, Lisa. It's awesome. Thank you for joining me. Yes, it's got everything you need in one spot. And that's one thing I talk about in my videos and my lives quite often is that I've done a lot of things, including the network marketing, where you're missing bits and pieces. So you got to go get the training elsewhere. So you're spending more money, more money, more money. Where this, it's all in one place. It's a one-time purchase. You pay a $39 access fee. You buy your domain. We recommend you purchase an email to go with your domain. So mine, you can see it there. It's inspiredwithann.com. So my email is ann@inspiredwithann.com. And then that's it. That email is like a $30 fee annually. That's it. Seeing my daughter and my value in ourselves is worth all 100%. Like that's bringing the value. That's number 3. Like why is the customer asking if it's worth it? Well, I don't know. If you get your time freedom back and you can build lasting memories versus the child hearing all, like my child got so used to hearing me say no, she stopped asking. Wouldn't it be nice for them to start asking again and take them on vacations and do things with them and not be stuck doing it for just a week, 2 weeks, because that's all you have for vacation? This business, as long as you've got a device and internet, you're good to go. You can do 2 focused hours from anywhere in the world. As long as you got internet and access, you can do your post. Or better yet, if you're going away, pre-plan all your stuff and schedule it on the platforms that have scheduling, which is almost all of them now. TikTok has it, Facebook has it, YouTube has it. Like there's so much now that you can do schedule your content, get your 3 posts up and running for a month and take a month vacation with your kids. And then you can spend your half hour to 2 hours a day answering the questions and getting people into your funnel. If they're answering your CTAs, get them in your funnel. And when you get really rocking and rolling, you can get access to clickable links like on TikTok and Facebook and all these places. You can just drive people to your link and let them get in the funnel and just let them buy while you're vacationing. And while you're vacationing, post. Let people see your lifestyle. Like it's coming on spring. I live in the sticks. I'm on an acreage. So I live in the sticks. So people are going to start seeing a lot of outdoor pictures and you're going to see me working down at my gazebo. My yard is my oasis. I love working from home. I love my property. Although I'm isolated, I don't care. I got all of you online. And you know what? I've learned that some of my friends and family that I've built online have been more impactful and more supportive than the people that are around me. Like my family's not here. They're 5,000 kilometers away in Nova Scotia. But they're more supportive than some of my family and friends in my physical life. And I mean, that's more important to me than anything because that's what feeds me and drives me. They love me enough and remind me of what's good in me, what's good in what I'm doing, what's good in what we're doing together. And I can do the same for them. So with that, my friend, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to pop these in the description so you have them. And yes, I would love to connect. If any of you want more information on the digital marketing, the links are in my bios. They're throughout my platforms. Get in there, get the free blueprint. The blueprint is free. It explains and shows you how it all works, has testimonials, everything that you need to know is going to be within the blueprint and the information that follows it, explaining it all. So get that information. That part is free. Like, why wouldn't you? And like I say, I'm helping 15 people every single week. And when those slots are full, they're gone. And when you get in those slots, you're getting the extra digital products that I've created for free, where most people have to pay for them. And I'm not going to offer them ongoing. They're only going to be available for a limited time. So I'm offering them this week, probably next week. But other than that, I don't know. I may cut them off after that, depending if I feel people are utilizing them or not. Maybe I need to take some time and create some new ones. It's quick and easy. But the thing is, it's bringing value. It's giving you tools to help you refine your profile so it's aligned with your message and your business and your programs and your services. It's helping you brand who you are and show up as you, authentically you, so that people can relate and connect. And that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game. So with that, my friends, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for all the love, Lisa. I am so glad you joined my live, and like I say, the guys on Facebook and YouTube, you're going to have this to reflect on. And I'm going to do mini videos on TikTok here shortly. I've got a couple of meetings first, but I'm going to do some short videos on TikTok so that you have access to them there as well. Take care, my friends. Have a beautiful day. Jump into the link, get your free blueprint, and we'll be talking to y'all soon. Take care.